Hi guys, Michelle here. Today we are going to take a very long minute to talk about how to do AR or AR processing. So in Counterpoint, the first thing that you're going to do is the first thing that needs to happen is the drawers have to be posted. So if I wanted to make sure that, let's say I'm trying to run AR and we're not posting every day, it's not the busy season, we're not posting every day, you want to make sure that you've posted. So if I go to into view tickets, I want to make sure that I'm going to hit the grid button here. I want to make sure that if I'm trying to run AR, today happens to be Friday, July 24th. If I want to make sure that I'm capturing everything when I go in to do this, I want to make sure that there's everything in here under the ticket date. So everything that's currently running in the POS, that there's nothing before the 24th in here. If there's nothing before the 24th, then we are good. So that means I can run AR through 7/23 yesterday, and I'm going to capture everything that happened through yesterday in its totality. So once you've established that, you're going to go into customers, and then under reports, you're going to go under the aging report. And what the aging does is it more or less it quantifies the customer records, I guess. So I want to age as of yesterday. So I'm going to age as of yesterday. And then when I do this, I want to order by the name so that it's sorted by name. You don't have to touch any of this other stuff down here. And then you're going to do preview. And then it's going to run its report. And then you're going to get this age report that will say age as of date 7/23. So then it's going to go chronologically. This header represents what you see down here. So you've got the customer number, which is this number here, the name, sales rep, balance, blah, 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 all this stuff. So anyway, so this is the first one, and then I can just tab through all these pages. At this point, I would print this, and then I would do everything that I'm about to show you via on paper, via longhand, but I can't show that to you on a video, so I can't leave this open, but I did print this to a PDF, which is right here. And it's the same exact thing that I just did. I printed this to a PDF so that I could show you guys what we're looking at. And then next week, when I go to do this, more or less, we're doing AR for the past week. So last week when I ran this, it's important that you see this because I'm working off of what I just printed, this document here, and last week's. Last week I ran on 7/16, and I did this after we had closed. So even though I did this on the 16th, you can see I did this after we closed. So I captured everything on the 16th, so I ran on this through the 16th. So this is last week's, and this is kind of what this looks like. So more or less to figure out what do I need to send, you're going to look at everything that you've previously sent, and then what we have currently to find out what you need to send them this week or close out, et cetera, et cetera. So in order to do this, I'm going to open up back in here. We don't need this anymore. I'm going to open up the customer account management under customers, and then it's just under account management. This is where there's going to be some things that I'm going to have to do, and it's going to be from this screen here. Okay, so if I have these both printed out on paper in front of me, which I do, but I'm showing you on the computer so that you guys can learn what I'm doing here. So if I look at the old one from last week, and we've got AB Landscape Solutions, I can see here that there's an open credit here. And then how this works is all the highlighted things would have been new things that I needed to send last week. And then the cross off is only happening when I've either sent them or that they've already been sent. So if you're looking at this one here, I know the last one that I sent was the amount for 204. And that was new last week. And I know it's new because it's highlighted in yellow. So if I go into here, Like I said, I sent 354, 204. This one's on 716. If I go into the new one for this week, I can see the credit left here. And then I can see that the next one here is this 238. So starting with 238 all the way down here, these are all new ones that have happened since last week. The other way to check myself on that is that this number of aging days should all be less than 6 or 7, whatever day I ran this on, and they are. So I know that all of these are new documents that the purchases that they've made since I ran the report last week, and these are all new tickets, more or less new invoices that I need to send AB Landscape. So I'm going to highlight all of these in yellow because those are all new tickets that have to be more or less sent to the customer. But I also have this 253.86 up here that hasn't been dealt with. So this money has to get applied to the next available ticket, which would be this guy here. So how you do that is you go into the account management, and I'm going to pull up Landscape Solutions. AB Landscape Solutions. So we'll pull them up. And then in here, you're going to see a whole bunch of tabs. And I'm doing everything that I'm going to be working from this AR documents. So if I come in here and open this guy up, I will see these radio buttons here. There's by document and then by group by apply to. So if I go by document number, I can move all the way down and go down here to right here. So here's my last payment. And then here's all these documents here that still have balance. Make sure I go this way. Okay. I'm sorry. I wanted to be on the group by apply to. So if I do group by apply to, it more or less, these are all the documents, and then more or less these are the open balances right now. So these ones here are the open balances, and then I've got this credit here that needs to be applied. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this guy here, and we're going to apply open credits. And then we're going to come over here. I only want to apply the open credit to this one because I want to do this on a case-by-case basis. I don't want it to just broadly apply open credits to everybody anywhere. So I'm going to pick that customer, and then I'm going to preview, and it's more or less telling me that I've got 253, and it's going to apply to this document and this document here. Unfortunately, I don't have a way to change this right now. If I wanted to pick a different document, I can't change this here, but I can change it later. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to close out of this, I'm going to say apply. It's going to tell me that again. And then close out of this, and it should be more or less, it should have applied. Unfortunately, this, it needs to like refresh, and it doesn't let me do that right here anymore. So give me 1 second. So let's see, if I close out of here and I go back in and pick AB Solutions again, we'll see if it refreshed. Not yet, it didn't. So there used to be a refresh button up here, and I have no idea where it went, but it's gone now. Just make sure that it's not somewhere else. I don't want that. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to apply, AB Solutions is also one of the customers that they want us to email their info. They don't want us to mail them out. So what I would do now is I'm going to go into the reprint ticket. So if I go into the search and hit reprint ticket, I'm going to click on reprint ticket, which is in the point of sale reports. But reprint ticket, I'm going to open that up. And then I want a specific customer, AB Landscape, to AB Landscape. And then I actually don't want layaway. I want invoice. So invoice letter size. it switches all that out. I'm going to take out the terms. Customer number, maybe landscape, and then ticket date. I only want to run this through when I ran this last, so I want to go from the 17th to the 23rd, which was more or less from the start of where I cut off last week to what I'm running through today. And then I'm going to hit preview, and then it's going to have all of their documents in here. As I tab through, it'll have all the documents in here. Ideally, in a perfect world, there's 8 pages, and there should be 8 that I'm actually sending. So I've got 238, there's 8 here. So it should be those 8 documents that show up under this reprint ticket. So I'm going to just go ahead, when it's a safe assumption, I'm just going to go ahead and print these. So then I'll do view, portrait, print. It'll print down to the Kyocera, and then I will pick these up, and these will be what I scan in to email to him later. But I want all 8 of those, so I'm going to print those, and then those will be what I've printed to send to him. So then let me go back in here and see if this is refreshed yet. Of course not. Let me close out of it and go back in. Account management. Solutions. AR documents. Okay, see how my number, my credit is now missing from the top, so I know that it actually has applied. So now when I go down here, if you remember from before, it took the total here was, if you remember what we had, it was 253.86. So it applied 238 to this one in full, and then it applied 1586 to this document number, and then this one actually has a bill of 114 left. It took the last open credit. So I personally would prefer that it did it the other way, that it paid this one and then it left money on this one. So this is where you get to actually change what happened here. So if I click back up to group by document, and I come into the last payment, this one here, I can click reapply AR document. And then I'm going to say yes, because I want to use more or less what they did. So this is the 2 that it left it on, remember? So I actually want to take it off of this one. I want to delete this guy. I actually want to remove this line. So I'm going to delete him. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Okay, so I want to type in 101-48488. Never mind, I don't want to do that. Okay, I'm getting out of here, and then we're going to start again. There we go. Okay, so this one here, I want to delete this line. Yes, I'm sure I want to delete that line. And then this one here, I want to apply the full amount. I want to apply, this ticket balance was at $17. So I want to apply the full 17 on that guy. And then I'm going to look up the document number that had that 238 on it, which was the 101, this one here, 101-48884. So we'll copy this guy and we'll paste him in there. Of course, he's not going to show up. Maybe he's already in here. Let's try typing it in. 101-48488. If I hit tab through, it'll tell me the 238 there. It tells me here the amount remaining, and we're going to apply the 236.86. And then I hit tab, and it's going to say, do I want to save it? I'm going to say yes. Then when I go through back to the apply to, see how now it did it the other way where it took this payment in full and now the balance is on this one. So that way, I think chronologically, it makes my brain happier that we did it the right way. So now I can more or less sit here and say that A&B Landscape Solution owes, they purchased all of these, more or less 717 to 724. That's everything that they bought. But this one was paid in full by the last payment that they made. And this one was almost paid in full by the previous payment that they made. So when I send these to A&B Landscape Solutions, I'm going to take the 8 pages that I just printed. And on this one, I'm going to more or less say paid in full. So if I go back into this one, I would literally write this one here. It won't let me do it, but I would literally type down here, ticket number 101. It was the last payment. You can actually expand it here. I would write 101-47469. And then, actually, I think I can show you on here. Nope, I can't. I would have to print this to PDF. So I'm not going to do that to show you, but I literally would write 101-47469 right here, and then I would write minus the 236.86, and then I would see balance due. I would write that right here. Balance due is 114, and then I would put that right there. And then this one here, this ticket here, I would write, I would find the next one, find that balance. This one here, I would write, ticket number 101, which was the payment ticket. I would write 101-47469 right here, $17. And then I would write paid right here. And then when I go to send this to A&B Landscape Solutions, I would scan this one by itself because this is the only ticket that's actually paid in full. And then I would scan all of these 7 other ones in their own scan. And then I would go to email these, and I would say, attached are your invoices. Here's the record of the one that's paid in full. And then attaches this other one, attaches the other PDF of the balance dues. So more or less, they would see this one was a partial, and then these are all, we fully have to pay these. So once I actually send the email, I would come back in here and that's not what I want. I would literally, again, this is on paper. I would literally cross off all of these guys that I actually emailed them and that these were sent, just so that you can see more or less. Oops. No, that's not what I want. There we go. And there we go. Okay, so I would literally cross off all these that I've sent these once I sent that email. Just like this one is literally what I did. More or less, I got them all ready, and then once I physically sent them, it's either in the mail or the email has been sent, I would do all of those. Okay, so that's more or less what you do for that first one. Okay, going on to the next one. So American Custom Exterior. So I've got 2462 and 2052. I'm going to go look at last week and see if American Custom Exterior is on there. I've got 2462 and 2052. So I know I've already sent these, and not only have I already sent them, but I've sent them more than a week ago because these weren't yellow. If these were yellow, it means I sent them last week. But you can see on the age date, I probably sent these 2 weeks ago. So go back in here. I would take the whole cross you off, cross you off because I've already sent you. Okay. Apron Auto, Trucking, and Excavating. 38.86. Let me look at last week's. Apron Auto, Trucking, and Excavating, 38.86. I've already sent them quite a while ago. At this point, I would probably let Holly know that we can send them a statement because this is more than 30 days. It's actually 2 months old, so we should probably follow up on that. All right, Brian DeConnick. Let's look at you. Brian DeConnick, 7:45:20. We've already sent you. Okay, good. So when you actually have one to deal with, it takes quite a while, but these other ones that you've already sent, it's been a while. So Campbello Construction, got those two. Campbello Construction, we got those two. We've already sent them. So you're all set, and you're all set. Claymore Development. Okay, so you've got two at the same amount. When I see identical amounts, I always make sure, that they're not somehow some weird duplicate. You can see the age is different, but the ticket numbers are also different. So don't mess yourself up thinking, oh, that's the same one or something. They are different ticket numbers, just FYI. Okay, so Claymore Development, they got all three of those, and those two were sent last week. So again, all three are all done. So 1, 2, 3. We're all set with those. All right, on to the next page. Creek House Commons. We've got two, again, same amount, but again, they are different tickets. And the 01, these ones, if you have on Slick or Cut and Trim, when you have a large account, these ones here that you see -01, this is the invoice from a bulk delivery. So look out for those because the dates get funny. They'll sort differently because of when the date that they were taken versus the day that they were released. So just because it's on the bottom or wherever this falls, it might not mean just watch out for them because they might not filter to the bottom. There may be maybe this is the one, with the 01 on it, with the delivery, but you've already sent these two, but it'll fall up here because you took the order back at a certain date. So just keep an eye on those. Okay, so Creek House Commons. Go to the next one. So Creek House Commons is top here, but then it's these two here. So again, those two we did, so we'll cross those off. Crosstown Custom Homes. Crosstown Custom Homes. So we've got 4 over here. There's only 3 over here. So 181.44, 136.08, and then 91.80. 91.80. Okay. So it's kind of odd that there's an older one on here, 92.48, that is now missing. That's not on this first one. But again, it could be that they called and paid for that one after the fact. Maybe this got returned. So I'm not going to worry about this one anymore because it's not on here anymore. Cut and Trim. Okay, so Cut and Trim is kind of an exciting one because they pay by envelope. So they have these outstanding credits here. I would say don't really worry about these. We'll clear this up at a later date or at some point it'll clear itself up. But we'll start from here, work our way down. So if we go into Cut and Trim, so here's all these ones that all the stuff that's just crossed right here, that's everything that was from the time before. And then here's everything that's current. So I'm going up to 7/16, 128.52. That's more or less everything that's been taken care of through that. So we'll scroll down, we'll find 128.52. So that one was the last one that was sent. So all of these are taken care of. I'm not worried about any of these. However, when we get to this here, this is now 26/7/21. This one here, this one here, this one here. These are all new ones that need to be sent because they weren't on the last list, right? So 128.52, they're all set. And these guys are all set up here. So if I go into, now I want to go ahead and print these invoices. So I'm going to reprint ticket. I'm going to pick Cut and Trim. And then I'm going to hit preview. And ideally, it should only be 4 invoices. Let's see what we got. We've got 7. So, but it includes everything. I haven't selected everything. So here's the check. Here's the last payment that they made for that last batch. So I don't need to print that one. 133.88. Let's see. 133.88. That one's not on here. And again, you can see that that was actually paid with a check, so we're not worried about that one. 42.55. That's this one. I do want that one. 280. So 280, 621.99. 26.21. Oops, that's not what I want. 26.21. So I've got that one. 26.21. I want this one. So I'm just going to do file. I'm going to do print. I'm going to do pages. I want page 1. And then 621.99. This says accounts receivable, but it's not in my list. So, right. So I don't have a 621.99, but let's look at the ticket number. That's a -01. So actually, I'm not going to worry about that one. There's my 280.91, which I do have over here. There's my 280.91. So I'm going to print page 3. There's my 55.08. I'm going to print page 4. And then there's that last one. I'm going to print page 5. So now I know that on the printer, I've got all the pages that I need to send to them. So once I send them, sorry, go back in here. So I go through and I do all the highlighting and then printing. And then when I literally physically put the paper in the envelope, that's when I will come through and actually cross this guy back off. But because we're doing it this way, we'll pretend like I actually just did me printing that was doing them. But like I said, I wouldn't actually do this until I physically put them in the paper. But this is more or less all that we're doing throughout all of these. So we'll pretend that we did those. Cutter services, I'm going to ignore the whole thing because Lauren actually has them on the list of the credit cards. They're AR, but Lauren charges them every week. So what I do want to pay attention to is the 75.60. So they must have returned something, and I actually have to go in and tie this credit out so that when Lauren does go to charge, she actually will see the total balance, not the, this more or less has to be applied to this. So I actually already did this, but I do want to show you that if I go into Cutter, we'll pull this up here. If I go into Cutter, this is the original ticket amount on this one here. It was $157.46. And then this was actually the credit memo, the 75.60. And I went in and applied it to this ticket here. So now the balance due is $81.86. And Lauren can just charge the total of $407.75. There you go. Lauren did that earlier, $407.75. So when I see this on here, even though I'm ignoring all this all together, I'm not going to do anything with it because Lauren will just charge their credit card. I do have to tie out this amount so that Lauren's job is easier for that. So we're going to skip that one there. DRAS is another credit card one, but same thing. They had a credit that I had to actually go in and tie out for Lauren. So I went and did that. But this guy, I'm just going to, cross off on my paperwork. If you actually look on here, DRAT, I literally put a line through it, so I know I'm not doing anything with it. DBI property. All right, so we've got 344.41. We've got 3 charges. I've only got 576.28 over here. 576.28. So you actually can see on this one here, I need to highlight. get out of here. Go back to highlighting. This was what I was trying to tell you earlier, is that this is the one that we sent last week, and it's in the middle. But in this one and this one are new, and I need to send those to them. But see, why is that this one here was probably started. The document date says 7/23 yesterday, but this document was probably started before this one, and it wasn't delivered for whatever reason until after. So that's why it sorts weird. So just that's what I want you to be mindful of, is that just because you know, this isn't the only one we have to send because it was after the one that we sent last week. You do have to kind of look, but the only ones that you have to keep your eye out for are if they have this -01. If it's not, they will all fall, like chronologically. Okay, so I have to send those two. So DBI properties. We'll go back into our letters, print DBI properties. Preview. And then 2220. So I gotta send that one. And then there's my 344.41. And then this one here was paid with a credit card, so I don't have to do anything with that one. So I'm gonna do print, and then I'm gonna do pages 1 and 2. 1 to 2. So there's that one. Okay. So did those two. And then we'll cross those guys off. Ferrari Holdings. Ferrari Holdings, I sent 5/14/08. 5/14/08, we're all set. Gotti Plumbing, 356. 356. All set there. Grassmasters, 273. I sent that last week. Greenleaf Meadows. So I sent 155 and 6216. I've sent 155 and 6216. So here's another example of the delivery fell. This one's a legit new one, but then this delivery fell above it. So I have to send both of those. So I want to send this one here, that one, and this one. Highlighter. So I want to send both of those for Greenleaf Meadows. So we'll go in here and print these. Greenleaf Meadows. Preview. 233.12. I want to send that one. And then 331.56. That should be my other one. 331.56. So I'm just going to print everything here. Print those. There we go. And then, now that I'm done with those, we'll cross you guys off. Okay, Homeland Services. Homeland Services, 4218. Credit, 146. So I sent this one and this one, but there's a credit on their account and I'm not sure why. So let's go look at Homeland Services in account management. There we go. Okay, so when I'm on apply to, I don't see any credit right here. But if I know that it's probably on this guy here. So there's my 4218, which is more or less, he's been applied. So what they technically owe is 322.62, even though it says the 146. So I know on this guy here, I know this 42.16 has actually been applied to this guy, and that's the actual outstanding balance. But again, we've already sent this to them, so way back when, and you would know that if you had been doing this for a while. You'd be able to go back and look at weeks past and see when you actually sent them that, and you probably, it probably would have been, here's this invoice minus the 4218, you owe this much. So so I'm just going to leave those as marked off because we've dealt with those at some point. Innovative Irrigation, I sent them those. So I sent this guy and I sent this guy, right? And there's 2160. So there's the same thing. I'm assuming this has been applied to one of these guys and we're all set. So we've got 2 new ones. This guy here, this guy here. And I'm gonna find innovative, hit the wrong button there. I'm gonna find Innovative Solutions. Preview. And I wanted to send 125 and 45. 45. So I'm going to print both of those. There we go. So I've sent those. So we printed those. And again, I would actually mark this off when I actually put it in the envelope, but I don't get to actually physically show you that. So we'll pretend cross those off. J Northern. I don't see anything for J Northern, so they must be new. And again, I'm confirming my age day is 6, so yes, they're new. So there's that one. Oop, I totally highlighted the wrong one. Kevin DeConnick. Oop. So they're new. I gotta go print them. That's fine. J Northern Products. Preview. Print that one. Okay. So then Kevin DeConnick. Craigify is definitely a cross out. So 108, I sent it to him. So 108, I can mark him off. Sent him. Craig Fry, again, this whole thing would be crossed off because they are the weekly Lauren charges on a credit card. It's the Monroe County Controller. So this one here, Monroe County Controller, 6290. 6290. So 426 is technically a new one on their account, but again, because I've been doing this, I'm aware of this, is that this one here, we actually billed this, put this under the wrong account. So I actually have billed this Monroe County, I billed 426 to Monroe County Water, whatever this is, but it shouldn't have been under their account. I ended up with a PO and we discovered that we billed it to the ship to, which was them. And the bill to was Monroe County Controller. So I actually, in the POS, I took this out of their account here. I took it out of their account and then I re-entered it under Monroe County Controller. So that's why this looks like a new one. But again, I haven't actually sent them this. So I am going to send them that. And then I'll show you how I have to go in and tie this out so it more or less disappears. So under the account management, we're going to go into that Monroe County Water one. Monroe County, I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, so here it is. So then I'm going to click Apply Open Credits. This is kind of easy for this one because it's literally there's only one option to apply that to. And then we'll just type in 13077. And then I don't need to preview this because I know it's going to pick that. And then we'll say okay. And I know that this is it'll go through, it needs to update, but I'll go back and look at that once we send this other one. So more or less we've dealt with that guy, and then we're gonna, this guy we need to send to the new guy. So we'll go in and print that one. Monroe County Controller. Preview. 426. And that's the only one in there. We're going to go ahead and print him. And now when I send this one, as I mentioned, I actually have a PO for this customer. And there's the PO number. So I'm actually would put the copy of the PO that I have in the envelope with this here, just to more or less support that, hey, we have this PO, here's the info. And I would send that back with them when I put that in the mail. So we can cross this guy off. And then let's see if this updated. Monroe, this one here. So you can see the balance is 0. It actually did apply it. So it took this credit memo and applied it to this ticket. So we're all set on that also. Okay. So that's all set. That's all set. So Newfield Custom Homes. Newfield. I sent 136. I sent those guys. Slick Corporation. So I've got 136.14. Slick. I've got 14, 112. Okay. So these are all new guys, but they do have this credit. So again, I need to go in and apply those. So you're new. You're new. You're new. Not working. Okay. So those are all new, but again, we've got this credit. So we'll go into account management. Slick. There's my credit. Here's my balances. And then I'm going to say apply open credits. I only want it to go to Slick, so put Slick in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say apply. It's going to more or less pick those out. And then we'll give it a minute. Actually, let me just go out. Go back in, see if it will apply itself. Slick. Nope, not yet. Okay, let's give it a minute. We'll go on to the next one and come back. Okay, so Stag, they have a credit on their account. They just must have paid money on their account. It's still sitting here, so we can skip over that guy. Sunshine Concrete. Stag, Sunshine Concrete. I've sent both of those. Again, that one's starting to get old, so I might notify Holly that, hey, we need to send a statement to them. Superior Steelers and Supreme Property Maintenance. Again, these are ones that Lauren charges every week, so I can just skip over those. Top Lawn, she charges every week. We're good there. Town of Greece. Let's see. Town of Greece, 44. So this one we sent. This is a brand new one, again, that Age supports it. So 71.98 I need to send. Let's see if this is fixed yet before. Slick. Okay. There's that one, so we'll print you. Close out and see if that Slick is updated yet. Oh, wait. So Slick did update. I just wasn't paying attention. So Slick now has a balance of 135.24 credit on their account, and it did apply those to those three, the three that we had that were here. So those ones I'm going to keep on my list of to send to Slick, saying that these ones, here's more or less documents that you've had and that they're paid in full. So he still has the credit of 135.24 on his account, so he's all set. So again, I would cross these off. But we'll skip that for now. Okay, so Town of Greece, we did him. So did that one. Eventually, they've got a credit on their account from an overpayment, so I'm just leaving that alone. Vendy Excavating. They are new, so I need to highlight those. So we'll send that one. There's that one, so we'll print him. And then same with this one here, the Village of Hilton. They had this bill for $261.63, and they sent in a check for $261.31. I'm pretty sure this is just somebody being dyslexic and miswrote the check. So they technically still owe us 32 cents from this guy, but I'm more or less letting it ride until hopefully they have another bill, and then I can more or less say on the next bill, say, hey, you short paid on this one. So I'm leaving that one alone for now. So we sent that one. Again, I'm kind of just leaving, I'm not crossing these off because I know that they need work kind of a thing. Village of Spencerport, $290. Took care of you. And then Unity is another one that, like AB Solutions, I need to email the accounts to. But let's see what we've got. Anything to do. Starts at 562, ends at 5830. 562, 5830. For the first time in like forever, they actually, none of these are new. So normally I would send them all this stuff, but they're all new. So pretend that we cross all of these off. Cross all of these guys off. And that is it. So then I literally would take all the printed papers that I have, stuff them in the envelopes, and then mail them out in postage. And then I would print this off, or more or less, I'm doing this on paper every week, but I would take the printed document of this, put the hole punch in it, and then there's a binder above Ethan's desk in the business office that says AR binder or AR something on the side of it. I would hole punch it, and at the top of this document here, just like on this one here, at the top of this document, I write the dates that this are. So I would be writing for this one, I would be writing 7/17 on this guy over here. I would be writing 7/17 through 7/23. And then I would have a little box. And then when I'm all done sending everything, I check that box to more or less confirm that I've completed AR for this week. So I know this is a crazy long video. Who knows how long, hopefully we're still going here. But this is how we do AR. There's variances every week. There's always going to be some kind of questions or outstanding things. But that's how AR is done. Take a look and ask me if you have any questions. I think I got everything in there, so hopefully I didn't miss anything. Thanks. Bye.